You're listening to the Nerd to Know Media Network. Join us at nerdtoknowmedia.com.
Broadcasting from the Blanchistan Center, this is Phoenix FM.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies and share facts.
According to the Nerd Index, you should be upside down in a junior high toilet around the clock.
This is We'll do it live! Todd goes in, Todd goes out. Never miscommunication. It's over 9,000!
My name is Foxy.
The balls are in there.
Don't face me, bro.
It's a trap. I'm a firing believer. Time to Hey, Charlie, wake up! Oh, God, oh, man.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Nerd to Know Basis here on Phoenix 92.5 FM. I am Kev, back once again, and we have Dara. How are you doing, Dara?
Hey, Kev, it's been ages since we did a show.
It has. Well, I was on last week. Me and Kean, we had a good catch up on last year, and I've told my sob story already. But I am back. I am back and stronger than ever.
Back and stronger than ever. They haven't even seen your final form yet.
Nor will they.
No.
It is preposterous and humongous and not safe for work.
What's a homunculus? Isn't that what they call it in anime?
The homunculus. That's like a human made kind of thing. It's like that's a Full Metal Alchemist thing. It might be an anime thing, but you know. It's all details. Anyway, news. It's about time. It's about time we stop holding over stuff from 2022 that we completely forgot about talking about, and talk about stuff that happened like this year.
Actually, it's funny you mention it because I've been recently going to Cineworld to see random anime. On like Saturdays, because they just show random anime, right? So I've recently got into like that time I got reincarnated as a slime and Sword Art. I love Sword Art, and I didn't even know what these were, and I'm just like, because I'm going in just watching these movies and I have no idea what they are, but I really enjoy everything about Sword Art, and also reincarnated as a slime is phenomenal. Oh,
reincarnated as a slime, I've caught most of it. It's just...
See, I didn't know there was most of it. I've only seen the movie.
That's the TV show. There's like I think it's like a 2 season. I think it's like 50 episodes of it now.
Right.
But yeah, that's like it came out in the middle of when like Isekai, where like I get reincarnated as X in a fantasy world.
Right.
It was done to death. It just like it was something that everyone and their mom was making one of these. So when Slime came along, it was like, oh, okay, it's just another one of these. But no, it's actually just genuinely really funny, and also gets really in the granulars of like, we are rebuilding this world for the people.
Yeah, no, but the movie is quite good because it started off with like ninjas fighting, and I'm like, what? And then there's like this ninja demon that they save, and then goes back to the town, and they're trying to save another town from this evil lake. And I'm like, what is this nonsense? But I really enjoyed it. And then Sword Art, I didn't even know that was a thing, because apparently it's a much wider thing, Sword Art Online.
How did you never hear of Sword Art Online?
Man, like... I did hear about. I thought it was a game. I didn't realize it was an anime that's actually D&D. It's about people playing D&D.
I don't know. So it's the fact that it's evolved so much over because I think there's been like 4 different iterations of it. I think it's been out since like 2011. It's been going for a while. So the first one was VR. The first ones were VR. I think they kind of just went full fantasy recently enough.
Well, what I like about it is or particularly this movie. So the movie was, it's a long title, Dan. I'm not gonna say.
It's got about 10 different words in it.
Yeah,
That's how anime movie works.
It's the most recent one.
I'm going to take a shot at this. Hold on, while I'm just going to divide it.
Okay.
Sword Art Alicization, Legend of the Galactic Savior of the Universe.
Close. It's Sword Art Progressive Shiro of the Deep Night.
Progressive. I can't. It's one of the other spin-offs.
But what I really liked about it was, as I said, it was like the characters are aware they're in a game. So it's not like they're the actual characters. So there's bits where they're like talking about, basically it's all about raids. So they're going on raids and they're selecting from, the weapon trees and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, I've never actually like seen that before. And it's just very endearing because you're like, okay, you're a character in a video game that knows you're a character in a video game, but wait, no, you're actually the character in the real world playing the video game, as you would.
Yeah, no,
but it's a good story.
They're just gamers, Dara. This is just how gamers act.
Yeah, I know, but like it's not. They don't do the lazy thing like cutting back into the real world. It's all in the game movie. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. One of the best things I've done recently now is just popping up the Cineworld app, or you can't because the app doesn't work anymore. So logging into Cineworld and being like, cool, random anime, ahoy, and there we go.
But I didn't know they were doing. I don't know. Like, is there? I wonder if there's
for years.
Influx of them. I know Cineworld was to be like the go-to when there was a show. When when something did get put over here. Like I went to see. That's where I went to see the One Piece movie back. October at this point, I think.
Right.
But I didn't know they did them like regularly.
Every Saturday.
Wow, no, didn't know that.
The thing about it is, right, so...
And now I don't live in Dublin, so I guess I just have to live with that now.
Well, I will have to put a bit of a pin in it because early ones are dubbed and the later ones are subbed. So if you go see the one about 7 o'clock, it's subbed. And because I would much rather just watch it dubbed, I always watch it early.
To be fair, in my experience going to movies to see anime movies, you just like it's a roll of the dice and you just kind of take what you're given.
Yeah, but for some reason the way they laid them out, they specifically have the sub much later on. So that's a bit weird, I thought, but it's good. It's good. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it might have actually been Cineworld one day. They didn't actually whatever way they had at the time. I think I went to see it was the National Cinema Day where they were doing tickets for £3.
Ah, yes.
Around the same time the new Dragon Ball superhero had come out. And it was just like, there's showing a Dragon Ball 10 in the morning. I was like, sure, I'm spending a day in this cinema. I'll start off with a Dragon Ball movie. Did not say it. I went to. I was like, well, I guess this is a dub.
You know what's actually, and I guess just because I have you here and you're the anime expert on staff, I've recently I wasn't expecting to enjoy this game so much or invest so much time in it because I don't really. Some visual novels are very hit and miss, particularly when it's just a novel. You're not really making any game choices. Corpse Factory.
I don't.
Did you ever hear of Corpse Factory?
The name. Hold on, because
this is on the Switch now. I know it's on other things too, but it's on the Switch.
If it's the one, no, I don't know Corpse Factory because there's another one with a very similar name. That's
Corpse Party.
Corpse Party's the one I know. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Corpse Factory. So Corpse Party's the one where the girl where it's the teenage girls in the school in the middle of the mountains.
Correct. Yeah. No. Okay. So I'm going to sell you on this one real quick, right? And let me know what you think. So it's a full-on psychological thriller, right? Yeah. But it's about this website that when you submit a picture to someone, it texts the person whose picture it was how they're going to die. And it's actually like you're watching it and you're like, what is this? But what's cool about it is it then, so mild spoilers, it's then revealed that you followed the girl who runs the website. And her like deeply unhinged approach to doing this kind of stuff. And I'm not going to explain what she does because I do want you to play it. But
yeah,
I didn't think I would enjoy visual novels, but I think if you're aware, actually, it's on Windows as well for like €11 on GOG. But I would get it for the Switch because I just games like that I like to take around with me. But yeah, man, I mean, if you're looking for just a good psychological thriller to sit in there, and the voice acting is actually really good too, because they're all English voice actors.
Is it fully voice acted?
Fully voice acted.
That's cool. Because that's not something you get a lot of, especially with those with what seems like kind of a low budget kind of survival horror visual novel.
Yeah,
that's surprising. That's really cool.
No, it isn't even survival horror. It's psychological horror. It's just so weird. It's a weird game. But I really can't recommend it enough because I'm like, again, it's I've played Roommates, which is really, really cringy. We've obviously did Doki Doki Literary Club for a panel a couple of years ago.
Of course.
And I've played a few of them, but I've never actually I wasn't even expecting this to be a visual novel. I was kind of like, oh, I don't really want to play this. And then when I got into it, I'm like, oh, this is actually very, very, very good.
I mean, it is because it's. I've had this conversation with a couple of people that don't really consider visual novels to be games. I think
I would have been that way too.
And it's very much it's not trying to be anything else. It's in the name of the category. It's a visual novel. It's something that you engage with, and the same as a book, the same as a comic. It really puts the weight of the actual literature, of the actual writing, on it. So if it's got engaging writing, you're going to absolutely fall through it,
and that's
you would a book.
That's what happened to me. Exactly what happened to me. Yeah,
it's just a form factor, really.
Kev, I think it, and I will going to use our platform here to try and reach people who maybe have never played a visual novel. Absolutely, give it a go because I would have been that exact same way where I was like, oh no, sure. I kind of want to play a game, but you turn this and start off with Corpse Factory because you start off and it opens with a woman falling, jumping off the top of her building. And it's just what is going on? It's just immediate, just pure terror, and then it just kind of goes, cuts back to her phone and the picture of her dying and it said sent from, you're just like, what's this? Because you think it's a supernatural kind of thing or Death Note or something like that. And you're just like,
okay,
what it actually is far more disturbing. So, I mean, I will say, look, if anyone is maybe considering or has never played these visual novels before, Kev is right. It's a form factor. It's a new kind of approach and it is like reading a book.
I think because it's the one I always have to go to because obviously Corpse Factory it's very specifically that psychological thriller which is very niche and people can be looking into that. My go-to will always be Phoenix Wright.
Oh yeah.
Because it is still a very linear visual novel, but it has just enough gameplay elements to still keep that engagement, and it's obviously a more kind of approachable, just kind of a courtroom mystery drama.
Yeah, it's more of a game with visual novel elements rather than.
I would go with the other side. I'd flip it on its way, where I think it's a visual novel that has game elements. The core of that, you spend most of the time in that game just progressing text boxes.
Oh, fair. Okay.
It is much heavier on the side of of narrative and text boxes that will then be broken up with decision making and problem solving.
Because there is none of that in
no. Phoenix Wright is very specific. Phoenix Wright is much. It would be very different to it in that regard. Okay. But if you want to kind of get into the form of visual novels, it's a way of kind of getting that in while still having some gameplay elements. And if you find, because it can get long in the tooth with some of the dialogue. So if you find that that's something that you enjoy in Phoenix Wright, then visual novels are for you. Go explore to your heart's content.
All right, cool. Well, look, I wanted to bring that up while I had you because I was just Keen won't know what I'm talking about. So it's just like, okay. Actually, real quick, Sword Art online. Where do I start with that?
Oh, jeez. That's
Do I go?
actually,
Do I just go on Netflix and watch what's there, or
yeah, but also the first season's not great.
okay,
Sorry, the first like 3 episodes are really solid, and
okay,
then the main character fully unlocks God mode
oh, okay,
and is just an invincible power protag.
right,
Hold on, I think there's one. I think it's called Sword. I think it's another Sword Art Progressive one. Because there was a spin-off a couple of years ago where, because a lot of Sword Art Online follows the main character Kirito,
yeah,
who got like God mode super genius.
yeah,
But they made a spin-off. Yeah, a genuinely very good place to start is an anime called Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online. It is Sword Art, because Sword Art Online, like, it'll take different seasons with different game types.
yeah,
So the first one was very sword and sorcery fantasy. I think the second one was much more kind of Fey Elf roleplay stuff. As I said, this one's a bit more is fantasy again. This is fully just people playing Call of Duty.
really, okay.
But
So, Sword
the
Art
main alternative, yeah,
alternative, okay.
Gun Gale.
Gun Gale. Oh yeah, there we go.
It's fully set in different characters. It's fully like diverted from like the main plot, as it were, Sword Art Online.
Oh, this looks unreal, actually.
And one of the core premise of it is that it's a woman who is like very tall and lanky and kind of just like moves uncomfortably in her own body. Decides to start playing this war shooter because she can play a 3 foot tall girl in a pink shirt.
And it's on Netflix.
And it's on. Oh, is that one on Netflix?
That's on Netflix.
It's on Crunchyroll. I know that much.
Okay, I'm gonna watch that after we finish taping. That looks great. It's on Netflix as Gun Gale Online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, watch that before you absolutely burn down your Netflix account.
Okay, I'm
so
absolutely
just
gonna
that's
watch
one of those things that you can get in before the fire sale.
Here we go. Sorry.
Oh God, that's like of all the controversies actually that like I thought about talking about. That's one we fully haven't mentioned.
Okay, so before we talk about it, well, before we go give our thoughts about it, set it up there. What are we?
So Netflix, they've been kind of holding this over for a couple of months now, where they have really tried to crack down on password sharing. They don't want people sharing accounts. They want any users to be a single paying user. And they were trialing systems, I believe, in South America for a while last year, where I think it was basically you got charged an extra like euro or equivalent currency for every extra profile on your account.
Right.
I don't know how they're like. I think the results were kind of kept on a bit down low. They put out. They claim it got released too early, but there was an FAQ that got put out there about a month or two ago that fully outlined that anybody that Netflix are going to be logging a home location from their account. And if you have not checked back in at that home location, your account gets cancelled.
Right.
They're doing it in an effort to stop people from sharing passwords to anyone who does not live in the same home as them. Now, I think you're already seeing the glaring problems kind of that they're trying here. They've already kind of rolled back on that and said this was released too early. We're still trialing things, but apparently there's reports coming out from people in South America or people even in Canada, just not in the US where they've really got a force of the pushback. Already getting emails notifying them that this change is happening now. And it's fully just like pushing people from this platform because, like, you know, it's turning off anyone who is like, obviously, yeah, like people who just didn't want to pay for Netflix and had like their parents' account. But then you have like people who can't really afford it, like college students who moved out, who obviously can't afford. What's it going for now? 13 quid a month for HD, 19 for 4K, truly twice the price of like any major competitor on the market. Like it's pushing people like that out who just can't afford it. And then it's fully not even factoring in people that don't have solid homes, like people who have to be moving for constantly for work or for personal reasons. Like it is flawed at its base, and I think it is only going to do harm to this company.
Well, look, we've said, and again, we're not pushing for any agenda here or any beliefs or anything like that. But the truth of the reason why streaming became popular, and here's solid truth.
Yeah.
If I cannot find something in 3 or 4 clicks,
we steal it.
Well, yes.
Like it's like, especially because of how the digital marketplace has kind of set itself up. If you can't provide some, if a seller can't provide something in an economical and convenient way, there is other ways to obtain it.
Listen, that's the only reason it worked.
Yeah.
It was cheap, it was fast, and it was easy. That's it. It was easier. Yeah. It's easier to go on Netflix and watch something and go, all right, here's some money, rather than having to pop up a torrent site and then pull down a torrent client and wait a couple of minutes. And people are lazy. People are very lazy.
And especially, like, it's Netflix have fully just kind of, like, gotten on a high horse here because they think they're the reigning kings of this market.
They used to be.
The landscape is so... Which they were. Because
no, okay,
they
sorry.
redefined it.
But
it's changed so fundamentally since when they were on, in part, that everything that they had has been taken from them by all the companies that have now flooded this market.
Well, see, I think, but even before this, like, you know, I think there was the meme that, like, people, like, it was costing the same with all the streaming packages, particularly in America, or even here as well. All the streaming packages would cost the same as, like, a cable bill or a Sky bill.
Yeah.
You know, in America, obviously, cable is, like, pretty much, it's Sky for Americans, just kind of, you know, for people who may not know. So it'd be like 70 to 100 euros a month, give or take. Which is a lot when you think about it. You know, you have like Netflix, Disney Plus. Some people have a sports stream. I know in my case I have Amazon Prime and WWE as my two. But like the thing about the Netflix one, I didn't even consider what you said there, where you're like, people move around, may not have a permanent home. That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Pointed it out, and I'm surprised Netflix haven't rolled back on it recently. But somebody pointed out that it means that it's also going to affect troops on deployment.
Well, okay.
I'm not going to weigh in on my thoughts on militarization, but people don't mess with the troops.
Well, that's true. Particularly in America, you really don't. But the thing about that is, like, look, there are ways to... It depends how this comes out, right? It depends how this actually shakes down. I mean, there's always ways to get around this kind of stuff. People can learn VPNs, and then you can just... Everywhere can be your home network, right? That comes with its own problems, but that's how I get around it. I just VPN into my home network, and boom, there we go. But...
I think, like, but at the same time, like, when the easier option, as you said, people will always go for the easier option.
Yep.
The easier option is just abandoning Netflix.
No, like, absolutely. Yeah.
They're obviously, sailing the seas, but there is so much other choice, and a lot of it is what Netflix already has. Like, I'm currently bogarting my sister's password.
Right.
And I kind of told her, I was like, listen, if you want to crash this, fine by me, just let me know when, because I realized the only thing I'm like, barring things that come out like day and day that I'm like, okay, I want to watch this new one that is Netflix specific.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm watching full time on it now is Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And I've just subscribed to Paramount Plus.
Yeah. You see, what Netflix are doing, and it does make sense. It's a corporate mindset that makes sense, but also really doesn't. But a lot of these decisions made in that vein always backfire and always go bad. And they don't realize that killing the golden goose, which was the availability, accessibility, and ease.
Yeah.
That's why people go to Netflix. It wasn't that they're loyal to Netflix. They don't care who you are. They just want what's on it. And you know, if they make it more difficult, it's just not going to happen. And I mean, look, there's no way this is going to end well. It really isn't. They've been hemorrhaging money because obviously Disney Plus, I think, has smashed them in the mouth. Paramount as well, obviously, has taken a lot of their ground. And I mean, like, even out of spite, like some people would be like, right, what's on Netflix? As you said, I can get Paramount Plus, get Crunchyroll, and there we go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Sorry. Apologies, listeners. I am quite sick at the moment, so if I sound weird, that's why.
You get nothing but the raw, unfiltered realness here on Nerd to Know.
Yeah, I just can't because I keep sneezing.
As
and coughing.
awful as the audio is, you get the realness.
You get the real audio.
I think I do want to kind of like I think I want to spin this though on its head and give like an alternative recommendation, as it were.
Okay.
Because if you have heard this and think this is awful, why am I spending €18 for a company that hates me?
It doesn't hate you. It just likes money.
It's just ambivalent towards you.
Yeah, it just wants your money. That's it.
If you have decided that you wish to cancel a Netflix version, may I recommend that you subscribe to Dropout? I have to have mentioned this on the show before. College Humor, the web comedy sketch channel from the early ages of the internet. They have made their own streaming platform.
Interesting.
Now, if you like me, the first time you heard that, were like, why should I care? It is all like where a lot of the sketches they had made were pretty funny and something to put on and then forget about. They are some of the funniest acting comedians creating some of the absolute best comedy sketch humor that a subscription service budget can provide. And like it's very comedy focused. So that's its kind of main draw. It's
right.
I want to say £5-6 a month, like £60 a year, shockingly affordable, all independently owned. And it's really strong comedy. Like the two kind of like tentpole shows it has is Dimension 20 is its big one, which is a Dungeons and Dragons real play show that's very like sharply edited, has got custom made miniature battle sets, and just truly superb like storytelling. And it's an anthology series that takes different looks at different genres of playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like right now they're on one that's kind of a horror themed mashup of like fairy tale stories. The last one they did was what if Pride and Prejudice took place in a Fae court. Really cool, really good stuff. The one big thing that Dimension 20 though is a hard sell is they're like 2-hour episodes because Dungeons and Dragons, but it's well worth it. But Dropout will also sort you out if you're just looking for short bursts. And my absolute favorite is a show called Game Changer, where the entire it's a game show where the entire premise is that the game changes every episode, and the players don't know when they walk in.
That's cool.
It's really good. And if I haven't sold you on it enough yet, half of their stuff is up on YouTube for free.
I did always like College Humor.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm going to have to check that out, actually. That's quite good. Like, the thing about it is, though, right? I mean, to put a pin in this one, Netflix someone needs to say to them, lads, stop it.
Lads, what are you doing?
What are you doing? This is going to end really badly. I mean, look, I have Amazon Prime. purely because I like the free shipping. That's it. But then you'll watch stuff on it like The Boys and stuff like that as well. All Amazon have to do is buy a couple more things, pad that out, and you lost most of your base there. Disney just need to buy one or two more things, and you can get by with just Disney Plus. Honestly. So
yeah, I think I probably will most of the time, honestly.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I mean, it. And look, they probably know the end is nigh, but all this is doing is just, instead of fixing it, it's making the problem even worse. So that's where I'll leave it. Obviously, we're not encouraging people to sail any seas or anything like that, but when it happens, you heard it here first.
You can't blame anyone else when.
No, you really can't.
I
mean, that's why. Actually, it's funny because we have hard evidence now from this that like downloads of torrenting software skyrocketed when this came out. And it's just like, what did you think was going to happen? You know, it's so funny when people make stupid mistakes like this. It's like, okay, everyone knew that was going to happen.
Netflix CEOs in their boardrooms like, oh my god, the consequences of my actions. Who could have predicted this?
No, it's more like the sole reason you got popular, the thing that made you successful, you're taking away. It's like if Burger King stopped selling burgers tomorrow, or if you go to KFC and there's no chicken, you're like, what? What are you doing?
I'm not angry. I'm just confused.
I'm like, what do I buy now? You know, and that's where they are here. Netflix are like, they just move their business model away. It makes no sense. Another thing that makes no sense, but I'm really excited about, and I need you to forgive me on this, Kev, because Ezra Miller, not a good person, genuinely not.
Yeah.
The arrest record of them is the arrest record is actually like, yeah, their police record is quite worrying. It genuinely is. But I'm really excited for The Flash.
I can't understand how this movie is still happening. That's where I'm stuck. I know, like, but the thing is that like it's not like there's precedent. We've seen them fully make a movie and then shelf it.
Okay.
For I would say worse reasons.
No, okay, look. I'm gonna push everyone over to watch It's a Gangnam. He's a really funny YouTuber. He actually just did a video on this Flash thing, which I haven't seen, so I don't know what he said about it. But the Batgirl movie looked terrible. It looked like the worst thing ever. It did. No, it did.
Yeah,
it
no,
did.
but
it did.
No, I'm not going to refute that. But the lead actress wasn't attacking and kidnapping people.
I know. Okay. Since you brought it up, again, I hate to have to defend this person, but I think what happened is because there's two Ezra Millers in this movie, it would just be too expensive to do something to remove them. It's just like, I don't know. It looks amazing. It really does. Like, they have all the cameos they have. It seems like it's a world. It's obviously a world-changing event that they're probably going to use to set up the new DCEU, which we'll talk about in a second. That's probably what they're doing.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about it.
Like, that's probably what they're trying to do. But I'm with you, man. I'm like, how are you letting this person still be on? And it's not even alleged. They got charged, so it's like a real thing. It's not like these are, we're going to get sued for.
Everybody knows this.
Yeah, it's like their police record is actually terrifying. Like, but it had to be just like, look, there's two of them in the film. We just can't replace them. We just have to grin and bear it.
They fully, it sounds like they fully just rested all of their hopes of like any direction this film franchise is going to go in this movie, I just can't back out.
No, and it wasn't. Look, the thing about the Batgirl movie is, yeah, it had a cameo with Michael Keaton, which I was sad not to see, but it didn't really have any effect, if that makes sense. It would have just been a movie.
Yeah.
This is a game-changing event. They're even talking about Christian Bale maybe being in it. So it's like, yeah, you really can't. You really betted the farm on the worst possible person, but it does look amazing. Like, the Michael Keaton as Batman is something I've wanted my whole life. I was 2 when the first Batman came out. I remember being 4 watching the second Batman movie in the cinema, which I shouldn't have been watching, but my parents took me anyway.
Hey man, it's sometimes you gotta make those foundational memories somewhere.
Absolutely. So like Michael Keaton's my favorite in real life Batman, and I mean also having Batfleck back looks great. It just kind of has everything you want. So it is just a case where I need to kind of sit back and go, Ezra Miller, not a good person, but movie okay, you know. But no, like I hear you, Batgirl. I would have probably wanted to see it just for the memes alone. Probably would have been god awful, but at least
Just
it didn't
again,
have.
I guess yeah, no, again, at least she didn't fully attack people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, at least it was a decent person in the lead role, but I'm sure she got paid anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, like that's
Everyone got paid.
But yeah, no, to kind of like lead on from this, because like as we're alluding, it seems like this movie is the crux of what they're setting up.
Yeah.
In that, am I right? Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Why am I like Warner Brothers? Yeah.
Warner Brothers.
I don't know why I was so unsure of that. Have basically fully just hit the reset button on the entire like DC run of movies and just gave it to James Gunn.
Well,
like,
look, you know, I mean, I think this is like the way I've seen it is it's again the Batgirl movie seemed to be inconsequential, right? But what's weird is the Shazam sequel is also kind of inconsequential. So I don't know how they're going to square that circle, but I think that's coming out before. Actually, no, that's coming out before the Batman movie. Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's coming out now. Like that's coming out soon,
like next month, I think.
Yeah, I think they're kind of just getting that out of the way.
Yeah,
like that's the other thing. DC have always had the kind of the scattershot approach. So I'd say when the wheel, like after this Flash movie, when the wheels start spinning, when the gun productions start moving, then they'll probably start at like marketing and billing. Okay, here is the new cinematic universe.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. But see, I think the only reason why this movie I think is coming out is because it is a fundamental reset. Because remember what happened in Flashpoint? You read the comic, right?
I haven't read the comic, but I watched the animated movie, so I'm aware of.
So the animated movie isn't going to give you what actually happened, right? It'll give you the story.
Yeah.
Flashpoint set up the New 52.
Oh yes.
So the New 52, for anyone who doesn't know, was DC Comics, which is a stupid name because Detective Comics was the actual comic relaunch of the New 52, which was designed to allow everybody to get into the 52 most popular characters from day one. That's what it was designed for. Was it successful? Kind of. But it definitely did kind of, because even when people ask me about comics, they're like, oh, how do I get started with comics? I'm like, just pick one up and start reading it. You know? But for a lot of people, particularly with Marvel, had this problem for years as well. Because like, a lot of people don't know Marvel continuity wasn't broken up until 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was all ongoing storylines.
Yeah, like
it was pretty.
Like Spider-Man ended at like 800 issues or something like that. You know, it was mad.
Yeah, like it was just made it impenetrable. Like,
well, no, I wouldn't say that. I mean, arcs were a thing, and you could buy trades and that. But definitely, that was the major problem. People were like, I can't read this because it's so vast. So DC would always have like kind of universe resets, but this was specifically to like, right, this is the new 52, right? And I think that's what they're doing here. They've realized they're like, oh wait, we can actually use this to do what we did with the comics under James Gunn. Which, here's the thing, James Gunn also a controversial character in his own right. So I mean, DC just seem to keep.
They can't get enough of them.
They can't get enough of them. It's like the whole Rick and Morty thing as well. It's like, yikes,
God.
That's a big yikes right there, guys. We're on at 5, so we can't talk about it. But yeah, check that out. But look, it is what it is. With that, I'm looking for, at least James Gunn is able to like plan stuff out, and I think that was the problem with DC. Zack Snyder is a great filmmaker, not a great writer. not great at planning, but visually a great movie.
Yeah, knew how to shoot a shot.
Yeah,
was not
absolutely.
there to create a universe.
No, it was not. That was probably a big mistake. But look, at least had some continuity, like the Star Wars movies, which had like none, except for 9. I like 9. Not 9. 8. 8 was really good. I like 8 a lot. But it's funny you mentioned. Well, I mentioned Star Wars. I'm going to continue on. On that point, there is some talk, like heavy talk, Kev, that they're probably going to do some sort of retconning through The Mandalorian. So The Mandalorian 3 is coming out, the 3rd season. Yeah. So there's going to be some retconning to try and fix the broken franchise. I was in Paris again last week, right? And I have said this before on the show. I'm going to say it again. So you have the Marvel Land, right, which is pretty busy. And then you go over to Discovery Land of the Magic Kingdom. And you have 2 Star Wars rides there. You have Space Mountain and you have or Hyperspace Mountain. And you have Star Tours. 5 minutes.
Is Hyperspace Mountain the Star Wars thing now?
Yeah, like, okay, so they just took Space Mountain and put like some X-Wings on it. It looks terrible. It's really
okay. No, because I've been to.
Yeah,
no, because I've been to that. It's been a good few years now, but I've been to that, and all I like, what I remember, it was very
Jules Verne.
Jules Verne.
Yeah.
Kind of like shooting a rocket out of a cannon.
Yeah. So I wish they kept that because it was really awesome. No, what they did was they kept they actually didn't change anything. They just put literally like some screens up saying X-Wings. And you're like, oh my God, you didn't even commit to this. Like,
the only cost this cost you was the tape.
Yeah, and you play some Star Wars music on. It's just so lame. The Jules Verne one was cool with the actual gun shooting off into the moon. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the queues for both are 5 minutes.
Oh wow.
So Star Wars is a dead brand.
Yes, but also Star Tours is a 30-year-old ride. All right,
no, it's not. It's not. No, they updated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Star Tours was a 30-year-old ride when it was the same ride and you went in through the Death Star. The new one is a sequential ride that is different every time.
Ah.
Yeah, and they've actually, since I've been there, they've actually put in a lot of stuff from The Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
Yeah, so every time you go in, it's a different sequence. So it's from the entire saga.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's like.
But actually, no, that is very interesting, and yeah, no, I'm surprised to see that that the queues are short.
Yeah, there's just no interest in it. And I mean, even when you go into the store, like, yeah, the Marvel Land is a bit lame. It really is. But the Spider-Man ride is 75 minutes. You know?
Yeah.
75 minutes. And I mean, that's what you'd expect from Star Wars. And you go into the shop and there's nothing there. And I'm just like, yeah, like I heard rumors that they were looking to sell Star Wars.
I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah,
like as much as as wealth as cost as that was, I can only imagine the headache of trying to keep track of that.
Yeah, like I'm like, the fact that DC have just been like, no, we need to kind of hit the reset button on this, like, big time. I would not be surprised with what I've heard. I know we've kind of talked about this a couple of times, but the fact that, like, you go to the parks here, and Disney have actually said, I think it was last week, 2 weeks ago. Hold on, it's here from Geek Ireland. Yeah, the 10th of February, Disney to cut 7,000 jobs amid plan for significant transformation. Because they've lost some serious money over the past couple of years. You know, obviously Disney Plus subscriptions going down. The parks weren't as amazing as they were coming out of COVID-19. All that kind of stuff. So, I mean, Disney are probably looking at it here and they're like, here, we need to, like, properly make some money here and make profit. You know?
I mean, like, there were so many other things at play there. Like as short as his reign was, the Bob Chapek story.
Oh yeah,
such a significant hit to that company.
Oh my God,
it is still reeling from.
Like, so there's a channel. I can't remember the name of it, but they did a whole thing on the Genie Pass. Have you heard about this, the
God.
Genie app?
Yeah. It's
Where
this.
it's like
It's
the-
not Defunct Land, is it?
No, I think it could have
No.
been Defunct Land that did it.
No, Defunct Land did one on a history of the Fast Pass, which was the system that worked.
That was it. Yeah.
They went over that and they kind of touched on why Genie doesn't.
Yeah, no. So for anyone who doesn't know, Genie Pass is one of the reasons why I will not go to Disneyland in America now until they get rid of it. Basically, you have to book everything months in advance, pay $11 for like a fast pass. It's crazy. So I mean,
it's effectively charging you extra for the priority per ride with a bogus day planner.
And it's funny, right, Kev? Because when you go to Disneyland Paris, they give you an app, right? And it's actually brilliant. Has all the queues. You can buy food through it. You can pay for shows. You can do a fast pass on it as well, but the queues are usually all right. And I'm just like, how did you mess this up so badly in America? You know?
Hey, listen, we were only talking about companies earlier by just unsightedly wanting more money.
Because here, look, if you have a good product and you make it available, people are going to line up to give you money. You know, it's just, you said it. Yeah, you're spot on. This is another case. The title of this show should be
Brands Want Your Money.
No, companies misunderstanding how to make money.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially, God, I am fascinated by like theme park drama. And it's the fact that like recently, because of all of the stuff with Genie Plus, like particularly in the US and particularly in I think it's Florida where the Universal Studios is.
Yeah.
Because like the going rate for decades was that people would go on big trips and go and spend like 2 days in Disney and have an extra day to spare and would go out to Universal.
Yeah.
But now Universal has made some massive moves that it's drawing big crowd pleasers like the Wizarding World and like the Nintendo World, and it is very slowly turning into we're going to Universal for 2 days. We have an extra day. We're going to go to Disney.
Yeah,
and like it's like they seem to be losing the forest for the trees in this.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, do you know why Disney lost the Harry Potter license?
Was it because they were betting on Pandora? Was it?
No. It's actually
no. Pandora was a response.
Yeah, it's actually way more stupid than that. It's like hilarious, and this is a true story, so it's not like BS. So, you know the way the train goes back. So apparently when you go to the Wizarding World, you get on the train and you go backwards, and then that's how you go to Hogwarts or whatever, right? Disney were like, no, we already have a train. We can't give you the train. So they're like, all right, we're going to Universal. It's like, what? Why didn't you just give her the train? So yeah, I love that story. It's
absolutely
like,
no idea.
It's so funny. It's so funny. It's just like, wow. And then they built Pandora, which, to be fair, look, it looks like it's amazing, but it's also like,
about Avatar, but also looks like a great theme park.
Yeah, I mean, like, I saw the new Avatar movie, and I really liked it, but also I was like, I never want to see this again. It's the same movie as the first one, and nothing happened. It was like, okay, but why is this a thing? Like, you know, it's.
But Dara, did you have to use the bathroom over the 2 hours and 50 minutes?
Oh, of course I did. I was in bits.
Then you have to see it again. Jim said so. You have to listen to Jim.
No. I went once and then I came back and then I was like dying by the end of the film. I'm like, they're just too long. It's the exact same movie as the first one. The exact same movie. But yeah. So look,
aside from the fact that, sorry, I was trying to make another RRR joke because that's a 3-hour long movie that's good. Continue.
No worries. Okay, so the last thing we're going to touch on before we have to wrap up here is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So look, we haven't seen it. It's not out until Friday. We're recording this on Wednesday, as we always do. And yeah, the review on Geek Ireland looks like they liked it, but everywhere else, 55%.
Which, like, is the kind of the going rate for Ant-Man movies, though.
But I mean, this is supposed to be
a setup.
This is supposed to be like
the big one.
The big one. This is not like, it's not a throwaway movie like the other Ant-Mans were. But like 55% is very, very low.
Yeah, surprisingly low. Now, critics, I think, will always
low.
Like, I don't know. Like, I haven't looked into like a lot of the pre-screening critic scores for a lot of Marvel movies. Critics do always tend to skew lower than like a fan, like fan ratings for.
So look, I'm gonna read some titles here for you, right? So, CNBC, Ant-Man and the Wasp reviews: the villain is good, but the movie is bad. Forbes, Ant-Man and the Wasp has Marvel's second ever rotten review at 53%. Digital Spy, Ant-Man and the Wasp gets mixed reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. So IMDb 6.6, Rotten now at 52. That's not good, man. These should be way higher.
No, but I suppose I'm going to go back on that first one. I'm glad to hear that that the villain's good. I can't remember the actor's name, but I do quite like him as an actor.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Jonathan Myers.
Jonathan Myers, yeah.
But like, I was surprised by this movie because I was surprised to hear that, because I mean, like, I saw the trailer for it. It looks like a cool, interesting kind of setup, and Bill Murray's in it, which is gas. But at the same time, it's just like, oh no, is this like, have they not learned anything from Phase 4? Like, it just seems like everything they do in Phase 4 blows up in their face.
It seems like this is fully just like a read again. I've only watched I haven't even watched all the trailers, to be honest. But the impression, like, what I wanted out of this movie was just kind of a fun sci-fi adventure in like on a micro scale. Something.
Oh wow! Hold on.
Something to the akin of like what Strange World, the animated movie that came out.
Yeah, man. But hold on, it gets worse. BBC, Ant-Man and the Wasp, the worst Marvel movie ever. Rolling Stone, Ant-Man and the Wasp feels like the MCU has lost its way. Holy Christ! This is oh no! I'm gonna stop.
I would be shocked if it can be worse than Thor: The Dark World.
I like Thor: The Dark World.
Thor: The Dark World is a fundamentally bad movie.
It is, but this seems like it's a broken movie, you know. And I have heard that they had a really solid movie, and then they went in and reshot a lot of it.
Probably to do a lot of world building.
Yeah, and it would not surprise me. Again, we haven't seen it, folks. We don't know. But if they did what I think they might have done, where, as you said, they go in and they're setting up world building, now you have what's called the Justice League problem, where you're trying to set up a bunch of movies inside of a movie and then
forgetting to actually have a movie.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. That's probably exactly what they did.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like, as I said, by the time this episode comes out, the movie will have been out. We'll have a clearer picture. I will end up likely waiting until it's on streaming because I don't live in a county with a cinema anymore, or at least one that is easy to get to. So you'll be hearing about my thoughts on Ant-Man Quantumania in June.
You get there eventually, Kev.
I'll get there eventually.
You get there eventually. But look, I wanted to mention that real quick because it is breaking news. Literally, as we're doing this show, it looks like the embargo's gone. So, I mean, look,
all the reviews are hitting.
All the reviews are hitting, and that's why I was like, I didn't mean to cut in on you there. I was just like, they're just popping, and it's just like, wow. So look, guys, let us know what you thought. The social media is there. nerdtoknowmedia.com is where you can reach us. All of our social media is there. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Facebook is the best one to go for, same on Instagram, because that's where we'll respond. I'm trying to get better at Twitter, Kev. I don't.
Hey, listen, nobody's good at Twitter, and Twitter is not good at itself.
Has it ever been? Has it ever been?
Last side note, we're not going to get into it, but it's come out that Elon Musk is fully paying his employees to boost his own tweets. And now I'm seeing his tweets, and that's truly my hell. So,
I mean, look, I don't know how algorithms work. Well, no, that's a lie. I know exactly how algorithms work.
You know exactly.
But I don't know how proprietary algorithms work. So they're obviously putting something in it. Everything's going to be AI eventually with this chat GPT thing, which is very worrying, and being integrated with it. So, here's the world we're living in, Kev. Bing might take over Google. Isn't that weird? Imagine that.
It has been opposite day after.
It has been opposite day.
We've been Nerds No Media.
Yeah, exactly.
As you said,
Gonna leave you with that one,
socials.
Gonna leave you with that one. There might be a day where we say Bing it instead of Google it. Isn't that weird?
Never.
Never.
Truly. We may end up using Bing all the time. I don't think I'll ever say Bing it.
Oh, man. Well, look, AI is changing loads of things. The Matrix tried to warn us, and they didn't listen. But anyway, folks, as Kev said, we've been Nerds No Media. Kev, what are we plugging before we get out of here?
Geez, I don't have much at the moment because of all the moves and that. So you can just find me on Twitter at KevTalica94. And then here most of the time because I now have a place to live. So I can record. I have a Wi-Fi signal again. No one can stop me.
No one can stop me now. Not even the algorithms.
No, maybe them.
And folks, you can follow me over on Twitter at DarryWV. NerdToKnowMedia.com. Please do check out all of our shows. We have the Wrestling Rewind as well, which is every Friday. And here on Phoenix 92.5 FM. So, see you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.
She says I'm not romantic. I say she's too dramatic.
Alright, so you're listening to the podcast, you're like, hey, I'm not in Ireland, how do I get in touch? Well, TuneIn has you covered. That's how you can check us out live when we're on the radio. You go to TuneIn and download the app, or you can check out the live streams on nerdtoknowmedia.com or Phoenix 92.5 FM. If you want to get in contact with us, it's very easy. Nerd to Know Media everywhere. Nerd to Know Media on Twitter, Nerd to Know Media Instagram, Nerd to Know Media on Twitch, Nerd to Know Media at gmail.com if you want to reach out via email. Hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you for listening to a Nerd to Know Media production.